he's going to play Petr Korda of Czechoslovakia, world-ranked 11. And this match is going to be followed by Ivan Lendl against the American Todd Martin. Both matches here on Eurosport, and this, of course, the final tournament before the first Grand Slam of the year, the Australian Open in Melbourne. Sampras there, sporting a rather new haircut, nice and short. And he's 22 years old, from Tampa in Florida, defending his title. And there we have it, beat Jonas Svensson 6-4, 6-2. Jason Stoltenberg in 3, having led by a set and 4 love at one stage, and then defeated in the quarterfinals Aaron Krickstein in straight sets. Just warming up the serves. Of course, both players have warmed up before. All top players have a little practice just beforehand to make sure they are in absolute top condition. Petr Korda, 25, world ranked 11, won that Grand Slam Cup worth £1.6 million compared to the prize money of £2.2 million he's won over his career of 6 years. Won 5 singles titles last year. Korda in fine form when he dismissed Czech rival Daniel Vacek 6-3, 6-2 in the quarterfinals. He started off with a win over the Swede Mikael Pernfors in 3. Mikael Pernfors making a bit of a comeback to the world scene and has moved up into the top 30 in the world. And then Korda had some difficulty too against Shuzo Matsuoka of Japan. Matsuoka, in fact, served twice for the match against Korda, but failed to serve out. And Korda showed his pedigree by coming through to win in that final set tiebreaker.
This match will be best of 3 tiebreak sets.
Steve Ulrich there, the umpire, just mentioning, going to be best of 3 sets here at the White City Stadium. Overcast, but I can tell you it is quite windy here in Sydney. That wind that fanned the flames last week on the fires that ravaged many acres of land around the suburbs of Sydney, thank goodness never did reach Sydney, and all is now calm as Sampras about to kick off this semi-final of the New South Wales Open. Well, it was a good serve. And Korda immediately finding his touch. Sampras favouring that forehand of his, a powerful weapon. Happy to run round his backhand and deliver a winner. Sun just beginning to break through. Just a very light shadow on the court. So Sampras, having dropped the opening 2 points, up 30, goes to 1-love with some pretty good serving, and you can tell by that canopy that the wind is blowing around quite a bit. And at one stage you saw Sampras did stop because the wind was just blowing through just a bit too quick. And of course, if you throw the ball up and the wind catches it, the ball moves around quite a bit, and your serve is not going to be too good. So these two, Sampras and Korda, have played 9 times before over the last 4 years. Sampras winning 6 of them, Korda 3, though you must say that Sampras is the dominant one now, because not only is he the world #1, but has won the last 4 between the two. That included the last time they clashed, which was at Key Biscayne in March last year, with Sampras winning in the final set. And there the wind playing around with the sponsor's flag, and both players could have quite a bit of difficulty here on the ball toss. Not the best conditions. The worst thing players hate is windy conditions. Korda, love 1. Good length deliveries from Korda, keeping Sampras at bay. Sampras would like nothing better than to come in and volley, but the length from Korda's got to be good.
15-4.
Pace and power of Sampras just a little bit too quick for the reflexes of the Czech. Sampras 2 break points for a 2-love lead in the first set of this semi-final.
Game Sampras. Sampras leads 2 games to 1.
So 2 double faults, costly for Petr Korda. Sampras quickly into the match with plenty of help from his opponent. The surface here at the White City, rebound ace, exactly the same for the Australian Open. The next tournament coming up with Sampras, the #1 seed for the first Grand Slam of the year. So some unforced errors here from Sampras, who even though he won his opening game of the set, had a little bit of difficulty, especially with the wind on his service toss-up. And now in trouble here, having broken Korda, Korda could well break back straight away.
15.
Well, Korda slightly mishitting that. And Sampras leads 2-1, although he just lost that serve. So Korda, having broken back immediately about the serve, 2 breaks of serve in the first 3 games, from 2 of the best servers in the world, but also 2 of the best returners of serve in the world. Stunning winner this from Sampras. Over the highest part of the net. And again, Korda in trouble on his serve. A little bit erratic. Going for his shots, but just missing them. You can see the wind really beginning to rustle up through the crowd and through Sampras' shirt as well, and Korda making another mistake. And there you have it. Disturbed by the wind, and it's love 40, and it's 3 break points for Sampras. Well, Korda clearly upset. His rhythm gone yet again. Served twice and lost his serve twice, and Sampras leads by 3-1. And the one good shot of that game was that marvellous forehand drive over the highest part of the net from Petr Sampras.
Seats, please.
Korda here on the return, placing the ball deliberately at the feet of Sampras, racing in, and Sampras really stretching to pick it up, and did well even to lift it over the net, but out on the far baseline. A repeat performance there from Korda, making Sampras really bend his knees to pick the ball up from his toe laces and paying the penalty. And Korda a chance now to break back.
Please be still for our players during play.
Korda at full stretch. And he's got a chance to break back immediately.
Game Korda. Sampras lead 3 games to 2.
So Korda mightily relieved. 4 breaks of serve in the first 5 games. And Korda well back in the match, and he delivered some tremendous returns, 2 tremendous returns to the feet of Sampras, who was sprinting into the net, and then delivered that stunning forehand drive at full stretch down the line. So he thoroughly deserved to win that game. Korda, he'll be 26 next week, born in Prague, but he's made so much money that he's quite happy to live in sunny Monte Carlo. He's never advanced beyond round 2 here in 3 visits, so this semi-final is a major boost to him. Certainly with the Australian Open coming up, where he's seeded 8th and will take on Thomas Engqvist of Sweden in the first round, while Sampras has a comparatively easy task as the #1 seed at the Australian Open when he takes on the wild card Australian Joshua Eagle. Fine name. So Korda 2-3. Both players relatively relaxed, free hitting. With Korda the more erratic of the 2. Both players beautifully balanced, and if you can occasionally take your eye off the ball and just watch their feet, especially Korda, you'll see him gliding along. And regaining his balance after every shot. Very light on his feet.
30.
That's the eagle eye view. And the secret behind all that was such a fine serve from Korda, and the secret again is so relaxed. If you're tense, really in any sport, you cannot deliver the goods, but if you're relaxed, you can play the shots freely. No tension in the arm.
3 games.
And Korda relaxed, makes it 3 games all.
15 love.
One of the rare ventures to the net for Sampras. Korda has kept him at the back of the court. Well, Sampras hasn't really needed to come up to the net because Korda has made a number of unforced errors.
Deuce.
Forty love to deuce.
Advantage Sampras. Deuce.
A point from 4-3 for Pete Sampras. So Sampras leads by 4 games to 3 in this first set. So Korda to serve from the far end, 3-4 down. Held his serve only once out of 3 occasions in this first set. Sampras attacking, Korda's second. And it pays handsome dividends. Taking the ball very, very early indeed. Cutting down the time for Korda to react from Sampras's return of serve. Sampras again forcing the error by coming in, inviting the check to go down the line.
Sampras leads 5 games to 3.
So Sampras breaks Korda for the third time out of 4, and this with a stunning drive that has, that's an earlier replay from before, I think. And Sampras leads 5-3, serving for the set. Kick serve, which means lots of topspin. The ball rearing up.
15.
You'll probably notice that Sampras throws the ball well over that left shoulder of his, and by doing that he imparts spin, which makes the ball, when it lands on the other side, to pop up dramatically. That's the flat serve. The ball just straight up. And if he pops it over his left shoulder, as he does there, that's the kick. And a good one as well.
30.
And there's also the side spin serve. If Sampras threw it to his right, he'd impart side spin and the ball would curve away into Korda's backhand. That's more of a flat type of service. And Sampras has moved up a gear. You can see now he's moving a little bit more freely and eager to finish the rally off as quickly as possible. 1 point away from the first set. Fine pick up from Sampras there.
40.
An inviting forehand volley. An unusual error from the world champion.
Game for set. Sampras. 6 games to 3.
So Sampras takes the first set 6-3. Korda, of course, winner of the Compact Cup last December. Now this is not on the tour, and even though officially on the tour Sampras beat Korda at Key Biscayne in March, the Compact Cup, which is run by the International Tennis Federation, is not part of the tour and doesn't count in the records. But Korda did beat Sampras just a month ago. In fact, he had back-to-back wins, not only over Pete Sampras, the world #1, but also against the world #2 Michael Stich to win that £1.6 million first prize in Munich. And of course, he was also a finalist when he really came onto the scene at the French Open in 1992, losing to Jim Courier. And here at the New South Wales Open, Korda is seeded 5, even though he slipped out of the top 10 last year after back-to-back top 10 finishes, 1991 and 1992. But he is playing well, Korda, although in this match he has delivered some erratic shots. Korda serving. Well, Korda's certainly going for his shots, but they're not quite hitting the target. Not only is his hair being ruffled by the wind, but I think his concentration is being ruffled as well. But he is, after all, playing the world #1. Sliced approach. Sampras threads the needle. And really, Korda didn't move into the net quick enough. That's where he made his error. He didn't go into the net. Immediately he decided to play that slice shot. Well, you can't better that. But you could better that. The man from Prague is not a happy one at the moment. Korda desperate to win this game, psychologically to have dropped your serve 3 times in the opening set and then to lose your serve at the start of the second does not help your confidence. And as in any sport, confidence is a major ingredient. Three doubles in this game. One is bad enough. 2 and 3 almost suicidal. He can be grateful, Korda, that Sampras is misfiring on some of his shots as well. At this level, 3 double faults, you should be down and out in this particular game. But Korda's still there at deuce. Still moving well. Sampras running around for that forehand, which has that extra power. Sampras yet another point for a break in the opening game of this second set. Well read by Korda, but Sampras had only one place to go, and Korda spotted it. Fine reflexes from the Czech. So another break point for Sampras. Overcooked the shot, Korda, that volley, and now Sampras with a chance to break Korda for a 4th time in 5. And he has done. And Sampras leads by 1 game to love, having won the first set 6 games to 3 here in this semi-final. Korda facing the Sampras serve. Sampras serving, leads 1 love, having broken Korda again. And standing well wide of that centre service line, trying to get a bit more angle on that first service.
Love 15.
You couldn't say both players have hit top form here. There are some majestic shots from both players, but there are many, many errors from both players. Kick service, the one that spins heavily, rising rapidly, defeats Korda. Sampras aiming to underline that break of serve by taking a 2-love lead.
Game Sampras.
And he does it with ease.
Sampras leads 2 games to none.
Seven double faults. Sampras varying the pace, top spin then slice. There's the slice. In fact, it didn't prove to be a good shot, and Korda really should have put it away. Again overcooked by Korda. And it's difficult to see why he made such an error. Maybe he took his eye off the ball, but for this level, he should have really put that one away. And that could prove costly. This time, no problem. And he's mighty thankful for that. You can see the band round the racket, the yellow band. That's to absorb the sweat and to make sure the grip is good, the hand doesn't slip.
Advantage Korda.
All players have those sort of grips. Sampras has got a blue one, and they're changed quite frequently as well. New grips usually every match, certainly at international level. So Korda finally wins another service game. Set down, but 1-2 down, and he's still a break down. So he's served 6 times now, dropped his serve 4, but that will be a confidence boost for him. Pete Sampras, well, he's held the #1 spot now for 37 weeks in succession on the tour, since he first became the world's top player way back in April of last year. 8 titles he won in 1993, including, of course, those 2 Grand Slams at Wimbledon and the US Open. He's won 20 titles in total, and of course that includes his first Grand Slam victory in 1990, when at the age of 19 years and 28 days he became the youngest American champion, just over 3 years ago. And his record in Grand Slams last year was impressive, winning those 2 of course, but he also reached the semi-finals of the Australian a year ago, losing to Stefan Edberg, and the semi-final of the French, losing to the eventual winner Sergei Briguera of Spain. So Sampras can always turn it on, especially when it really counts, and thoroughly deserves to be the world's #1.
Second serve. Second serve.
Korda still seeking his first tour title in well over a year now.
Love 15. Love 30.
Not an easy shot. It might look simple enough, but it wasn't an easy shot. Korda playing the ball into Sampras's body, and Sampras obviously couldn't get the space to put a racket on the ball
15.
and deliver it to the right spot. And he punishes Korda for his cheek.
Game seconds.
2 aces in that game.
Sampras leads 3 games to 1.
And Sampras seems to be coasting along quite happily. Best player on the tour last year, obviously, but with a marvellous record of 83 wins, just 15 defeats. The best of anybody.
15 love. 15 all.
Another overhit shot from Korda, and he just can't quite get his game together to put together a bunch of shots, 3, 4 or 5 consistently to disturb the Sampras rhythm. And a club player would have been disappointed not to put that away. The simplest of shots. He can only be taking his eye off the ball. And Sampras now leads by 4 games to 1 in this second set, having got 2 breaks, having taken the first set 6-3. Front set and 4-1, 2 breaks of serve.
Thank you, quiet please.
And if you're a betting man, well,
Quiet please, thank you.
I wouldn't put my money on him in this match.
15 love.
And certainly not after that. Sampras now delivering some fine aces. 2 in his last service game. Opens up with a fine ace there. Sampras, though, has been in these positions before, leading by a long way. And then going, in Australian terms, on a walkabout.
15 all.
He did it, of course, against Jason Stolzenberg in the second round here. He led by a set and 4 love, but then conceded the next 10 out of the next 12 games. And in fact, Stolzenberg led 4-2 in the final set and served for 5-2 before Sampras won. So Sampras does have a tendency to race into big leads and then just go off the boil before coming back again. He's a 7-4-1 up here at the White City in Sydney. Korda waited and waited here for this backhand. In comes Sampras. Korda waits, and then decides to go down the line. His other choice was across court. And Sampras slightly off balance, trying to retrieve, and that's well played from Korda. And Sampras puts his nose almost to the floor of this rebound ace court to lift that ball gently over the net, caressing it over. But Korda a chance to break.
Game, Korda.
Well, just when you thought Sampras was going to cruise home, Korda comes back. Eight breaks of serve so far in this match.
15 love.
Well, Korda looks like he's going to win this game, but he has to break Sampras again to get back on level terms in this second set. Sampras, shall we say, not trying too hard in this particular game.
Game Korda.
And Korda scoops through. Sampras, though, leads by a set and 4-3. He's going to serve with the break. 4-3. Second set. Full credit to Korda. Again, it was the return of serve where Sampras had to pick the ball up off his toe laces, giving Korda the chance of that topspin lob.
15.
And Korda respecting the Sampras serve, standing quite a long way outside the baseline before he
30.
just watches the ball go by. He needs that extra time to return Sampras' serve, which has gained a lot of pace in this second set. Sampras opening the shoulders there to deliver another winner.
40. Deuce. Advantage Sampras.
Comparative unforced error. And that's been the undoing of Korda throughout this match.
Game Sampras.
Forced into error there, though. Sampras leads.
2-3.
Thank you, Steve Richter, the umpire. 5 games to 3, Sampras leads. And that match, just shown on screen there, was Paddy Fendick beating Linda Ferrando in the quarterfinals of the women's singles, which is also being played here at the White City, Sydney here, New South Wales Open.
Love 15.
Semi-finals of the women on Eurosport tomorrow.
Love 30.
And Sampras in full flow, just 2 points from the match.
Love 40.
So 3 match points.
Out. 15-40.
1 down, 2 to play for Korda.
Game set match, Sampras.
And that underlines the Korda dilemma, with Sampras winning 6-3, 6-3. And Korda there just too erratic on a windy day, where Pete Sampras, sporting his new short haircut, was just that little bit steadier throughout the match and delivered the potent shot at the right time. Sampras always able to raise his game when necessary. So Sampras beats Korda 6-3, 6-3, and now plays the winner of the next semi-final coming up in a moment here on Eurosport, between Todd Martin and Ivan Lendl in the semi-finals here in Sydney.